Yo, Troy Aikman set the record straight. Let's listen to him.
Comes out, you know this is going to land in your lap, right? When we were in Dallas this year for a couple of games, look, the topic has always been out there about Jerry and Mike and what might happen, and now they've chosen to go in their separate ways. I don't think Mike will be out of a job for too long, but this job's as coveted as any because you're going to run the Dallas Cowboys. In what
Watch how Troy correct him. Watch how Troy correct him.
direction do you think they ought to look?
Well, I thought Mike McCarthy would be the head coach, so this is a bit of a surprise for me today that he's not going to be. And what went into those conversations that Schefter talked about, I'm not exactly sure, but it suggests that there's not a real plan. I mean, and the fact that they haven't had the opportunity to maybe interview a Ben Johnson and some of these others, Aaron Glenn. I think that what Schefter said as far as Kellen Moore being a candidate, that seems logical to me. A guy who has familiarity with the building. He's worked obviously with the Cowboys and with Jerry Jones, and they know each other very well. In fact, when Mike McCarthy got the job, it was told to Mike that Kellen Moore would be the offensive coordinator. So
Man, did y'all hear that? Now, of course, that's already been uncovered, but he said when Mike McCarthy got the job, it was told that Kellen Moore will be your offensive coordinator. So you had to take it. There was stipulations for it, and he's finna go scorch earth with this thing because that's what Troy does. He ain't holding back or pulling back none of the punches. He's swinging right at the Joneses with this. Yeah.
So that's how much the Jones family thinks of him. Beyond that, it's hard to imagine. As far as a coveted job, I don't know that that's accurate. I mean, really? I do think the Cowboys are obviously a high-profile team. Whoever is covering or whoever is head coach of that team is certainly going to draw a lot of attention. But I think most football people that take over as a head coach, they want to do it on their terms.
That's fair.
That's hard to do, and it's. You know, if you take a Dan Campbell, for instance, is Dan Campbell if he's with the Dallas Cowboys? It's hard to imagine that he is. It's hard to imagine that a lot of these coaches might be. So I love the Dallas Cowboys. I played there for 12 years. I wish them well. But to say that it's a coveted job, I'm not sure I would necessarily agree with that.
Maybe it's semantics, and comes out.
Hey, no semantics about that. Man, my guy. Troy Aikman holding back nothing with this particular situation because he's saying to everybody, hey, this job may not be for what it is. And he coached and he played for this team for 12 years, right? So he's looking at it from that aspect. And he's also saying that this right here, even when Mike McCarthy was here, he's saying the same thing that we've been saying. Let me repeat, he's saying the same thing we've been saying. Like Jerry Jones, the meddling owner that he is. On top of that, you got to deal with Stephen Jones, who really like to secure the money aspect of it. So you got to defeat those two bosses. And then you got to fool around and figure out how to equip your team, philosophy, and all of this stuff. It's a difficult situation to be in, Cowboy Nation. But whoever may be the new head coach, they're going to have to roll their sleeves up and say, hey, I'm willing to deal with the Joneses. Maybe this could be a situation and scenario that Kellen Moore will say, hey, man, this is where I got my stomping grounds at. I know the Jones family 1,000% trust me and back me up. Then there could be a deal there. Or the Jason Witten angle. We're going to talk about that a little bit later down the stretch. But overall, collectively speaking, the Dallas Cowboys, hey, the circus, boy, will always be here as long as Jerry Jones and Son is in the mix. And that's coming from Troy Aikman. Wow. 12 years with the organization and franchise. Hey, he letting you know how it is, and then he letting us know how it goes over here in Dallas. Yes, we like Ben Johnson. Yes, we like the Aaron Glenn, but will he have that control is what Troy is just saying, basically. Let me know. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys.